Welcome back to Kin in Line. I'll make this part 161. It's probably around 2010 and we're at the Addo Elephant National Park again. As I've explained previously, it's very hard to actually draw an elephant in situ. These things may look slow and lumbering, but they never stop moving. So when they do, you get a chance to just capture the essence, which I've tried to do here. Yeah, so an elephant, a different physiognomy altogether to us humans, we humans. Part of the reason I do these things is because they are a record just of in time, you know. So this is a view out across from a high point in the Addo Park towards mountains in the distance. And actually, I think on this occasion we saw blue cranes on one of these plains here. They were just like smudges of sort of pale blue, quite beautiful and visible through the binoculars. Now I think we're heading back into the Karoo, onto that farm that I mentioned earlier, near Stainsburg. And as I explained, when I climb these rather daunting koppies that become mountains, the closer you get to them and the higher up you have to climb. So I'd often stop and just sketch the scene and stop more often to take photographs. But at this stage I was doing more sketching and less photography. And here's that famous combination of the Loskrantz over there and Stockton Kop, viewed from quite a long way away, I think. Well, this might be on the adjacent kopje. I quite like the line work here. The sun was probably in a good position. And I think on one occasion we went into the Cradock Mountain Zebra Park, and these are ostrich eggs, which were on just in a basket on the table as a decoration. So I proceeded to sketch them. Yeah, and this was on the wall inside that cottage that we rented in the Elephant Park. It was a historic house, farmhouse dating from the 19th century sometime. Not sure if that could be kudu, horns, I guess. Drawn at the same time, but I'm not sure who this is. Could be a brother-in-law. And I think outside in the veld, I came across this skull of some sort of creature, maybe a baboon or something, which made for quite a nice sketch. And in the Cradock Mountain Zebra Park, there are obviously fantastic views across these gnarled mountains. They're very different to the ones further north where we normally go in the Karoo. next to that cottage was this bell, which I think could have been a slave bell, but what else just... Anyway, it was in a sort of arch. Nice to see it having been retained and kept. Actually, that's the bit of the house you can see in the background, this sort of roof and awnings of the porch. And it had a big front sort of yard. It wasn't grass, it was just stone. And then these lovely pillars, pointed corner, there's a wall around it with these lovely pillars, like sort of salt shaped. Anyway. And then the famous aloe of the Eastern Cape, and that was actually a monkey, vervet monkey that was nearby. So I managed to get him in. He looks like a gangster with a face mask on. So he must have heard about this impending COVID thing and got himself set up. I quite like this composition. Then we're back, I think, at a music concert where this is either one of the performers, often old choppies like Simpson, whose first name I finally remembered last night after doing a post about him, of Magna Carta fame. But here, you're drawing in the semi-darkness and you just let the lines flow and see what emerges. Quite a nice contemplative feel to this. Again, only now, just as I look at these again, I really appreciate the colouring. I used to think I'd done it too brightly, but in fact that works, for me that works really well. Now, to separate these out is... So I cannot for the life of me remember which musician this was. That's actually irrelevant really, because I think the picture works quite well. Yeah, this is probably Chris Simpson. We saw Magna Carta here. I mean, you can't call it Magna Carta because it was really just Chris Simpson and whoever accompanied him. But here is a very sort of, but that's his face, very abbreviated sketch, just the mere suggestion of his face. Could this be him again? Probably. Just he was the vehicle, for my drawing. He wouldn't be that impressed with his face there, but who cares, eh? Then I think this was his accompanist on that evening. Again, he just played with one other guy. I don't know if they had any electronic backing, probably not. With this face there. And that's probably Chris again. Those big dark glasses, or those dark heavy glasses that he... Notice the neck of the guitar isn't even drawn in, I've just got his hand. Virtuoso guitarist, I mean, it's a little appreciated fact. that this guy was a musician, or is a musician of note. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it for now. So let's just enjoy old Chris there. Cheers.